Hiram High School. Today's topic, solving quadratics by the square root method. All right, now let's look at an example. X squared equals 240. Now, to undo a square, I'm going to highlight this square right here. What undoes a square is the square root. And there are two numbers that you have. So if I had, like, negative 2 times negative 2 is equal to 4, and positive 2 times positive 2 equals 4. So there are two roots to the square root of 4. So we're going to look at this. So I'm going to take the root of both sides. All right, so this is x is equal to the positive square root and the negative square root of 240. So what you're going to get is two answers. Okay, you have x equaling negative 4 square root of 15, because that's what the square root of 240 is, or you have the positive of 4 times the square root of 15. All right, and you have two answers, and these are the two answers. Most quadratics, not all of them, come in pairs of answers, like I said, but not always. Let's look at another one, a little bit more intense. Okay, let me say again, not any more difficult, just intense. Let's look at a problem that looks like this. X minus 5 squared equals 196. Okay, well, I take the square root of both sides. So I have x minus 5 equals the positive and negative square root of 196. All right, well, the square root of 196 is 14. Again, I have two possible answers. Okay, I have x minus 5 equals negative 14, and I have x minus 5 equals positive 14. All right, notice the stuff right here. This did not change. All right, only the sign in front of the 14 is different. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and solve this. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides, and I get x equals negative 9. All right, add 5 on both sides here, and I get x is equal to positive 19. And so I have two answers. One more, just one more. It's not any difficult. It's not even any more complex. Let's say I had x squared equaled negative 9. Right? I take the square root of both sides. So x is equal to the plus, positive, and negative square root of negative 9. Now, that negative right there, underneath that radical, we are in complex number zone. Okay? So, what I have is the positive and negative I, and the square root of 9 times the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is 3, so this is the positive and negative 3i. So my solutions are x is equal to negative 3i, and x is equal to positive 3i. There's my solutions. Now, the whole idea here, guys, is to get the squared thing by itself. So if I had a problem that looked like, I don't know, maybe x squared plus 18 equals, I don't know, 2. That's a good number. All right, I don't have the x squared by itself. I want the x squared by itself so that I can use the square root property. So I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides. Now I have x squared is equal to negative 16. Got the square. All right, now I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So this is the positive and negative square root of negative 16. The negative sign means I have I. So I have the positive and negative I square root of 16. Square root of 16 is 4. So I get plus and minus 4i. So my solutions are x is equal to negative 4i and x is equal to positive 4i. And that is the square root method. And it's going to come back and haunt you in another situation that we're going to run into, so you better make sure you understand this. So if you have questions, put them down on paper, bring them to class, and we will talk about it. Y'all have a good evening. Bye-bye.